Hello, everybody. Good afternoon or morning, depending on where you are joining us from. Uh, I was away last week because I caught this pretty nasty cold that sent me to rest. And I think that was the point, actually, because I'd been burning the candle um, from both ends for a little bit now. And so I took advantage of my cold and then rested deeply. And so I'm back. Even if I'm still coughing, I was missing our conversations. And I wanted to come back with a subject that was pretty central to the experiences that I was having in my life a bunch of years ago, about I don't know, 10 years ago. And I remember so vividly these episodes that I could have where my heart was wanted to beat up out of my chest, and I could have this pain, chest pain, and I didn't know why. I didn't like the general sense that I had in those situations was confusion because I had this image of myself that I was, bigger and stronger than anything life could throw at me. And I am pretty sure some of you are in that situation. If that's the case, please say so or leave the comment. And so, because I thought I was the strongest human being ever been invented or born, it was pretty debilitating and demoralizing in a sense. And I had this when every time that I had these, palpitations and this chest pain without understanding why, because I think that was the most important part of it all, that I couldn't understand why they were happening. I couldn't point what was the cause, like really, what was making me anxious. And because of that, I didn't feel I could do anything about it. You couldn't predict it. You couldn't, I mean, it was pretty disconcerting. Not to say that it was pretty disruptive in my life, right? So because of that, and I am talking again about anxiety, and because of that I wanted to bring that subject today to the table. And again, if you have ever suffered from it, if you suffer from it now, say so, say hello. Okay, say hello. If you, I know a few of you are watching, say hello. And so what is it? What's anxiety, right? Well, anxiety is quite challenging because it occurs at three levels in your body, in your life. The first level could be the psychological level. Everything that I told you before, describing my own experience, um, illustrates what I'm saying now. It just is your mind gets engaged, right? And because of that, it has psychology attached to it. So your anxiety is happening at the psychological level. It is also happening at the physiological level. And what that means is that there is chemistry, functionality in your body, in your physical body, that is being affected or reflects the anxiety state. There is chemistry to it. And that chemistry is a lot related, not to say is the same, to stress, because there is chemistry that is um, produced in your body and therefore affects your body functions in case of stress. So anxiety and stress are hand in hand, go together. And so your physiology, your functionality in your body gets affected by it as well. And then the third level I was talking about is the behavioral level, because it affects the way you behave. It affects the patterns, the way you respond to certain circumstances, triggers, and things in your life. But then I mentioned those three, but what is it? Just it is actually emotion. Um, it is a feeling of fear, of apprehension about what's to come, right? So I'll say that again. This is a feeling of fear or apprehension about what's to come. So then, if we are saying it that way, I know we have had a conversation before about what fear is. So then, what's the difference? What's the difference between anxiety and fear? Well, there are several. They're both are alerting, have an alerting functionality. They probably were present and 100% for sure for fear in our evolution, and it was a way that we had to be attentive and to respond to the all forever changing circumstances where we were evolving as a species, right? But what I would say is that these two things, fear and anxiety, even if they have a similar base, I would say that they are different levels of it. And to be more specific, just let's go deeper. Anxiety is a general response to an unknown threat or internal conflict. Because of that, so again, unknown threat or internal conflict. Because of that, it is very is based on danger or something we perceive as danger that is distant or virtual. We don't really, in other words, we don't really know what is it that is creating the anxiety. We know the feeling, but we probably can't pinpoint what is it specifically related to, probably because it is in the distance and it is virtual. It just hasn't happened yet. uh, and so because of that, there is at the core of it, there is uncertainty. So the anxiety feeling is very much related to the fact that we don't know what's going on. We don't know when it's going to happen. We don't know exactly the circumstances or the development of whatever it is that we are getting anxious about. So there is a lot of unknown on the whole process, right? So that's anxiety for you. Fear, though, is an emotion, is a response to known external danger. Most of the time when we sit down and start thinking about it, we realize that it's usually related to a present and imminent danger. If that is not the case, then it's probably anxiety what's happening. And both at a certain level, they are part of our humanity. So they are there again, to alert us of things that are happening, of things that we need to do. And because of that, part of our process, right? But when they overtake our experience, then they become disorders. And anxiety disorders, I have to say, sadly, is the most common form of emotional disorder there is. In a year ago, it was actually reported by Statistics Canada that between 24 and 30% of the Canadian population was suffering from anxiety disorder. It was a tough year, okay? But those are huge numbers. So, what is it that you feel? Well, I mentioned some of them. Just this rapid heartbeat, shortness of breath, sweating in some situations, trembling, chills, dry mouth, nausea. In my case, I said, well, some chest pain out of this, the heartbeats out of the wazoo. But again, sorry, you feel nervous, restless, or tense, and not necessarily knowing why. Like I said, there is a this sense of doom, something is about to happen kind of thing, and it's not a good thing, that we develop, that is also present. Again, the increased heart rate, the sweating, the dizziness, sometimes for some situations is ear ringing, can also happen. Of course, you might have trouble concentrating, trouble sleeping, and then there is gastrointestinal distress, so digestive issues that can go from intolerance to whatever it is that you're eating, or specific things, to general indigestion or something like that. You are then at that point probably struggling on trying to control the level of worrying or ruminating over something. Like sometimes people tell me, "Yes, I can't turn it off." Right? Like I know I'm overthinking or over worrying, but I can't stop it. Right? Sometimes you have the urge to avoid things that trigger anxiety, and at that point it's already paralyzing, right? Because all of this, like I said, is a perception. It's not something that we can justify by the things that are actually happening. It is a threat of a fear of something that we don't really understand, know, or see coming. And so, because of that, there's a lot of the insecurity. Again, it's this sense of doom. And I can remember, like, I look back and I can totally pinpoint the kind of things that were triggering this now. But when you are right in the middle of it, it's pretty hard to navigate it. So, because of all of this, I think I have to tell you now, after I know that I've went through it and done with it, I have to say happily, um, I learned, and my personal experience and my experience with our clients, is that it is actually not hard to fix. There are very simple and extremely powerful techniques that you can do, that would get you out of it. And that is something that we do, help people through it. We've had clients that have suffer from panic attacks, so this is even further from anxiety attack, and they have been able to control this in a couple of weeks. So it is not hard to do, but it needs a commitment. And so you probably have heard already that we are holding a challenge. It is a free challenge. And we are starting on Thursday. It's 3 days, but it's going to be Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday. So it's not consecutive days. It's only 1 hour each day. And we are going to dig into what is behind all of these things and how do we move through them. What is required for you to get to the other side. So, if you are interested in how we made it through this, then I invite you to come and join our sessions. Again, the first one is Thursday, and it's at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are going to be mentioning the kind of things, not only what is it about, because it's not only about anxiety, it's actually about what is behind it, what leads us to be in a moment in life, in a state where we can develop anxiety. So we are going to go deeper into the whole thing, and you will discover what is it, how is it that you got there, and how is it that you have not been doing that you could do to actually go through with it. And we are going to open a door to transformation. It is extremely, we are very, very impressed by the feedback that we've gotten some of the times. And so hopefully you join us. I'm going to put the link to sign up for it. It's only in 2 days, the first session. If you can't join live, it's okay, because you are going to have access to the replays after that, but you need to register. So go ahead and do. And if you have any specific questions about anxiety and what that causes for you, and how that could be managed, or even eradicated from your life, which is what I did, please let us know. Send a message, make a comment, okay? And get back to us. And then see you in the challenge on Thursday, okay? Love you to pieces and have an amazing week.